of the Albany County Legislature. And George Hurst, publisher and CEO of the Times-Union. And now, distinguished guests, please welcome Managing Partner of Fort Orange General Store, Joseph Schlicko. Executive Director of the Downtown Albany Bid, Georgette Steffens. The Mayor of our great capital city, Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan. Albany County Executive Dan McCoy. Now please rise and welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
For over 400 years, Albany has been an important part of New York State's history. From its beginnings as a bustling trade hub to its legacy as our capital city, Albany has always led with strength, purpose, and pride. This is the place where New York's laws are written, where progress takes root, and where generations of hardworking New Yorkers have built lives, families, and futures. After COVID, downtown Albany faced real challenges. Offices went dark, some businesses closed, and concerns about safety grew. In Governor Hochul's executive budget, New York State committed $400 million to rebuild the downtown core and boost efforts already underway that will transform the 1-mile radius surrounding the downtown core into a thriving community. And we're proud to say we are moving forward. New York is investing $400 million to build safer streets, stronger neighborhoods, and a thriving downtown economy that will attract businesses, visitors, and residents alike. This isn't just about rebuilding. It's about reimagining what Albany can be for generations to come. Together, we are honoring Albany's legacy and securing its future, brighter, safer, and full of promise. Albany isn't just our capital. It's a cornerstone of New York's future.
Once again, please stand and welcome Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thank you. Great announcer. Is he from some game show somewhere? Well done, well done. It is so great to be here. This is a place I have visited more often than I'm going to admit. After watching something at Capitol Repertory Theater or stopping by the Irish Museum and hearing one of my, I think it's called the Capital Region's first ever all-female Gaelic band, Triskelly. Anybody see them? Okay, I have to discover your own local talent here. But they're really funny and they're great. I've actually had them over to the residents to entertain. So came over here for drinks afterward is my point. So I want to thank Christian and his family for welcoming us here. And I'm here because I believe in Albany. I believe in the city. I love it here. I love it. I'm enthralled with its history. I'm enamored of its people. And now I'm inspired by its great potential. I have so much faith in Albany and its people that in this year's budget, I propose to spend $400 million to reinvigorate our downtown. Actually, then Assembly Member Pat Fahey said it was the best Christmas present ever. So I want to thank her and all the local officials for believing in this. So my friends, we fought, we envisioned, we won, and we got it done. And many of you played a role in this once-in-a-generational opportunity. And I want to thank each and every one of them. I want to acknowledge my leadership team. They look a little battled and bruised. They probably are the people that would really like to be done with the budget March 31st, even more than me. But they've fought hard, they've worked so hard, and I want to thank Karen Persicilli-Keough, the Secretary of the Governor, for being such a great champion of this city. It didn't hurt that the budget director is from here, so I didn't have to twist his arm too hard to get this money. I think he might have even gone a little higher. Hey, there's always next year, Blake. Let's see if we have any money left after the feds are done with us. Hope Knight, thank you for your leadership in driving economic change and development, especially in downtowns like Albany. And Jeanette Moy, the commissioner of OGS, who basically owns more property than God. I want to thank her for all she does as well. And Marie-Therese Dominguez, our commissioner of DOT, making sure these roads are looking good. And she's very excited about 787. She'll get it done. She'll get it done. Our county executive, Dan McCoy, who's so optimistic and positive about what we can do together, the county, the state, the city working together. And of course, someone who's been a friend of mine long before I was governor, before I was lieutenant governor, our great mayor, Kathy Sheehan. This is always going to be part of your legacy, your story. All our local officials, members of the REDC, our business owners, especially those who never gave up on the city even when some counted it down and out, because we never did. And all of our friends in labor who can't wait to get the shovels in the ground. So I want to say this, thank you, to all labor. I'll give you a little insights into how this came about. I invited George Hurst over for breakfast at the governor's residence. Everybody said, you got to get to know George, get him to like you. Maybe they'll write really nice stories about you in the TU. Still working on that part, George. Maybe they're better than they would have been, I don't know. But then we said, you know what, let's do something really unique. Let's bring together the thought leaders, the movers and shakers, people who love this community to their core, and have them over for an evening of conversation and ideas at the governor's residence. So he had me at hello on that one. That was a great idea. We made it happen just this past December, I think, and then in my budget just a couple weeks later, we got to yes. And so I want to thank him for his vision for this community, his family's depth of caring about this community. It's always been there, and for all they do at Hearst Publications. I want to thank him as well. Let's give him a round of applause. You know, this has been my home for over a decade. You can sometimes catch me chatting it up with everybody who works at the Pearl Street Diner early in the morning. They know exactly what I want when I walk in the door. Sometimes I have cider at 9 pin because I just love the story of the mom and her son we got out of school, and was it a chemistry major? And my kids didn't do that. I mean, anyhow, I could have used something useful, like either someone who owns a winery, a brewery, or a distillery. Or a cidery, or a plumber or mechanic. I didn't need another lawyer in the family, but that's another story. I'll take that up at the family dinners. But, you know, or sometimes I'm just cheering my beloved Buffalo Bills, with many of you at McCreary's. And for the record, the most popular thing I did for this community was to get the law changed when the Bills were playing, remember, over in London, and we had to have the bars be able to open at 9 a.m. so we could start drinking early on a Sunday. We got it done. I'm really proud of that. But I walk the streets and I feel the energy. I feel a city that's just so poised for greatness, because that's part of our DNA here. And I want to harness that. I mean, I see the sold-out crowds at MVP Arena. I mean, I went and watched college basketball there with my little granddaughter, so I could let her see what these really tall women could do. Yeah, they're a lot bigger than your grandma. But we, you know, just all the people came for the basketball. The line stretched around the Palace Theater. Is that not a gorgeous facility? I mean, I've been to theaters all over New York. I mean, that beats a lot of buildings on Broadway. I mean, this has more charm and more history. You know, you go to the Washington Park for the Tulip Fest. I mean, these are events that bind a community together. Shared experiences, memories for your children, part of our story here. But while I see all this, I also have to recognize a different reality in certain parts of our downtown. There are some boarded up storefronts, some bleak, rather empty streets, and some places where crime is very much top of mind and a concern. You know, for decades, a place like downtown Albany and Albany, the region, has tried to just jumpstart change. I mean, they wanted something so desperately to happen, but they lost so much of the population the later part of the 20th century. All of upstate did. I mean, if you want an expert on urban and suburban decline in upstate New York during the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, you know, I'm the person who can tell that story from personal experience. I have no family left in this state. They all left for jobs. They wanted to stay. Big Irish Catholic family. I'm always having to go down for somebody's birthday, wedding, baptism, daughter's bridal shower. They don't live here. And it pains me because they should all be here. And it wasn't anybody's fault. Businesses left. Manufacturing left. But now we're starting to feel the opportunities. I mean, look at University of Albany. Look at UAlbany. I mean, Javier Rodriguez is here. What a champion for driving change here. That is a catalyst for bringing so many young, smart people here. But then, just when you think you're getting back in, the pandemic comes and slams us. And it was a devastating blow to small businesses. But even that, with so many workers, government workers, who were working remotely because they could not go into their offices, we had to protect everyone. It just kind of was hard to come back from. And then you get inflation right afterward. Everything's going up, harder for our small retail and businesses to make it. And then why don't we just throw some tariffs on top of that while we're at it? I mean, life has been hard, no fault of anybody's, and I recognize that, but it has not dampened the enthusiasm of the people in this room. So I know we have a shared belief that Albany can and will achieve new heights. And I'm very bullish on this community. And we know the history. This is the heart of our capital. It's the oldest chartered city in America. And it's a place where laws are written, policies are driven, that the rest of the nation pays attention to because we are New York. Movements start in our state and spread to the rest of the nation. We're still that place. That's not our past history. That is us today as we meet the challenges that are coming out of Washington and everything else that's happening. Because we're tough New Yorkers. And the nation looks to us. And that's why I am so committed to making this capital, the capital of the great state of New York, the very best it can be. Very best. And I will also say when I first became lieutenant governor and basically took up residency here in the capital region, hotel, but it was still home, everybody was talking about how come Buffalo got the Buffalo billion. Remember the envy? Yeah, I heard a lot about it. You can walk around do a little smack talking yourselves because since I've been governor, I didn't deliver $1 billion for this area. I didn't do 2 or 3. I have delivered $4 billion of improvements. Funding for major projects that people before could have done and they just ignored. Replacing the Livingston Avenue Bridge, getting that done. Reimagining 787 because why not? Why don't we open up that gorgeous river to people to recreate and live and to just embrace it? I mean, look at the communities all across New York that did not capitalize on having a wonderful waterfront. I mean, they've got this little spit of a river in San Antonio, and they got this river walk. I got the Hudson River, right? I got the Hudson River. As we continue to attract the smartest people here, we're going to make the Wadsworth Lab worthy of the rest of this community and say we are going to have the best, the world's finest resident scientists there. And we're looking for bold proposals for Liberty Park, one of our downtown's largest development site. That is a gift. You know how many communities would love to have this fresh start, places you can say we can build a whole new future here? So I'm proud that we're all working so hard to capitalize on this. And as I mentioned, the outskirts of our community, a national semiconductor resurgence and all kinds of programs that I can barely pronounce that he's doing over there. All I know is I just gave you $1 billion from something that sounds like lithography, something. What is that again? It's a big word, but Big words, big dollars, what the heck? But that's how we bring highly paid individuals here, right? And what else we need to do? We need to give them housing. It's very cool for someone, whether you're a young person starting out or an empty nester that moved to my downtown. You know, the suburbs were nice for raising kids. I want to be where the energy was. I didn't want to feel so old. I want to be with young people and just feel the energy. That's why we need a walkable city with more housing. New mixed-use apartments on Clinton Square. I mean, it's happening. And powered by our DRI grants. I mean, that was a great, great program. We continue to invest that. And now let's talk about that $400 million. All right. So Blake, is this $4.4 billion then by the time I'm done? That's even better bragging rights than you thought when you walked in the door. So let's break it down. Half of the money, $200 million, go toward downtown development projects right here. We'll bring downtown neighborhoods, desolate blocks back to life. The shuttered storefronts, abandoned buildings, we're teaming with people in business and transforming projects that'll just make sure people want to be here. Statement projects that are talked about elsewhere, not run-of-the-mill, because we're unique. This is Albany. No one has our history. No one has our future. That's what I'm talking about. The boldness, the ambition. We all have that. We just need it unleashed. And a little bit of money, $400 million, can do just that. So here's what we're doing. We're going to bring people together, expert guidance from a planning firm we just brought on board. And they've done fabulous work. They have a great record of revitalizing Queens and Long Island City and the Manhattan Garment District, so they know what they're doing. And we're also committing $150 million to bolster our cultural institutions around the city, you know, places like the museum, and places that give Albany its richness and its identity. So I want to make sure that we continue to draw tourists here to our museums, our art galleries, our theater. And what I love about this project in Albany, we can handle the scale. We're not talking about, you know, New York City. We're not talking about an area that's just so big that you do this, you barely notice the difference. These will be high-impact projects that as soon as they're done, people will come back if they've not been here in a long time and they'll say, aha, it is different. They were right. And that's what I'm looking for, those bold statements of ambition. And I'm real excited that that's exactly what we're planning to deliver on. I say let's get it done. We also have to capitalize on the proximity to the Hudson River, as you know. I go boating on that river. I know every nook and cranny of that river. Even hit the bottom once. There's some places that are a little shallow. It took 6 months to get repaired, but that's okay. So we're also committing $40 million for the next phase of 787 redevelopment. I want to connect people and businesses to the water. Just like Henry Hudson probably would have expected, we would have figured out by now, right? All these years later, because people know that people congregate near water. Water is healing. Water is calming. Water is a place you can throw down a blanket and have a picnic with your kids and look at the birds and it just creates those family memories that I'm so looking for. So it's going to be precious. And also, we mentioned some of the neighborhoods that people are anxious about crime. We have leaned hard into dealing with crime all across this state. I've said it 100 times. Public safety is my #1 priority. And Albany PD works so hard, and our state police are helping support them, and our county sheriffs are supporting them, all working together. And as governor, I've already invested $47 million in Albany to help drive down crime. We're making real progress. Mayor knows this. Shootings are down 7% from last year, the lowest point since the start of the pandemic, when people were not talking about crime so much. So lean into that. But we still have more to do. That's why my plan includes an additional $1 million directly for Albany PD so they can get the technology and the innovation, the equipment they need. $500,000 for the sheriff's office. Make sure they have the resources to have what they need. Paying for overtime shifts, enhanced nighttime patrols. You want to have a nightlife, you got to feel safe. People need to see police officers. And again, as I mentioned, the upgraded police technology. I have seen this work so successfully. We get modernized technology, those criminals don't have a chance, and we're coming after them. I'm coming after them. Because no matter what we build here, if we don't have that foundation of a sense of safety, then it doesn't matter. They still won't come. So that has to occur now as we're imagining our future here. So as I wrap up, my friends, you have many more speakers to hear from. This is a defining moment. Can we meet the challenge that I have laid down? Can we come together? And I've been involved in so many community reimagining projects, including 31 years ago when I first became a town board member and we had to work on our update of the master plan. And I'll tell you, it got contentious because everybody has their own idea. I am asking you at the outset, don't squander this opportunity. The money is there now, right now. You have a governor, an upstate governor, haven't had one in 100 years. I am here because I know how important this is. I want to get this done. So, come to the meetings because this is going to be driven by the community and the leaders in this room. Come with a spirit of openness and collaboration. And don't let petty differences drive such a wedge that all of a sudden people say, well, that was another one for the books and we just put it on the shelf. That happened for my entire life in Buffalo. The shelves filled with ideas that were stopped by different advocacy groups or this lawsuit or that lawsuit. So much stuff doesn't get done because of obstructionism. Stand guard against that. If it's coming, you make it go away. You fight hard against it. Use our media resources, use our voices, use our public officials to stand up and say, we have a chance, family and team and friends. Let's not blow it. Let's get it done. This is our moment. Thank you very much, everybody. With that, let me bring up our County Executive, Dan McCoy.
What's left to say? So I do want to say I agree with you on a couple of levels, because when I met with the governor about a year ago at NISAC, when I was president with Steve Aquario, we went in with all these questions, answers we wanted, and I left going, I thought, you know, the TU editorial board was bad. I have you have to be ready when you walk in there, and everyone's like, how'd the meeting go? And I go, I'm more confused than I was when I walked in. She turned it on us, flipped it and said, what are you doing here? What are you gonna do there? How are you gonna figure out this? What are you gonna do when you get St. Rose? I'm like, I don't think we got what we wanted across the table. But it showed me a governor that was battle ready, that understood the 57 counties in upstate New York and the rest of the state of New York. And I go, what better governor in this time than to have our great Governor Hochul? So thank you, Governor, for everything. Who's crisscrossed upstate New York, downstate when she was lieutenant governor, and continues to keep that pace as governor. And when counties, and she summed it up 31 years ago on the town board when we're like, all right, we can't use that with her. She understands county government and city governments. Other governors didn't, but you get that. And you understand we need the money now. And I have to say thank you to have the $200 million investment in downtown Albany, $150 million for the museums, the other $50 million going out to public safety and other good issues. This is an opportunity for us to shine, but to the leadership of the Senate and Assembly, to the Assembly members, to the senators that believe in this, that have voted in this, and she's right, it's not easy when you get, you know, now we can brag, because I'm sick of listening to Mark Pullencarts about his $1 billion. Now I'm giving it back to all the investment you did. So thank you about that. But when you have this investment and so many members believing in it, 63 senators, 150 assembly members, all agreeing that this needs to get done, it says something. We have an opportunity here in Albany to prove something, to make it fix, get it to work. And I always say Albany's like the heart of the body, because the rest of the counties, the arms and the legs and the chest and the head, what happens here affects everyone, and in the capital region. So this is so important that we do this right, We do it going out of the gate with a great vision and a great plan, and that's because we have you for the next 5 years, Governor. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the belief in us, and continue doing your great work across the state of New York. So thank you. Oh, sorry, forget. I get to bring up our great Mayor Kathy Sheen to the podium.
All right. Well, Governor, to say that it is a thrill, that it is exciting to be here, I mean, those are all understatements. This is a day, and I want to give a shout out to my team. I have so many commissioners and directors and City of Albany employees here. Make yourselves heard. Come on, shout. And they have really poured their heart and souls into this city. I've had the honor of being the mayor here for the last 11 and a half years. When I started out, things were rough. It was a rough road out of that recession, and Albany was hit pretty hard. We had a structural deficit. We had no rainy day fund. And so for the state to look at investing $200 million or $400 million here, they probably would have taken a pause and said, what are they going to do with that money? And we've worked so hard to completely eliminate our reliance on the landfill that we were using like an ATM machine, of shoring up how we do business, being more effective and efficient, making those investments in the things that nobody can see. You know, if anybody questions whether I did this job for the glory, think about what I invested in, right? A $46 million project to get floatables out of the Hudson River. No one's ever gonna see it. But we can't imagine what we could do with the Hudson River unless it's clean. I was just in Washington, and I went down to the wharf, and that whole project happened because they finally cleaned the water. And so doing the things that we needed to do, investing in our infrastructure, investing in those neighborhoods where we see challenges, where we see concentrations of poverty, 2 new community centers, a new pool, those are all things that are happening to strengthen our city so that we're ready for this investment. And we have a governor who is here at the right time with the right ideas, who listens, who makes sure that she's reaching out to everyone from our business community to people who've been here for a long time, newer folks who are here, to say, if we're gonna do this, we wanna see it. And we've done a lot of great things here. Prior to the pandemic, we were making the investments, turning Class B and C office space into residential. We've built nearly 1,000 units of housing down here already, but what we've learned is we need more, and we can support more. So it is going to take investment, because post-pandemic, downtown's changed. We're not unique there either. We'd like to think that we are, but we're not. Downtowns are still trying to figure out what they're going to do with this new hybrid work schedule that so many people have. But we're ready. We are ready for this, and we are going to make you so proud, because we are going to come together. We are going to listen, and we're going to focus and make sure that the investments that we make in this downtown are something that everyone can see, that people can benefit from, and we're going to go big. And I want to end with just, again, a cautionary tale. You know, I'm not from here. People like to remind me of that all the time. But I think that makes my passion for the city of Albany all that more compelling. I'm here because I love this city. I fell in love with this place. Its history, its people, the sense of community here, the fact that you can really have an impact and make a difference here. But it's time for us to ensure that we are only looking forward. I don't want to hear about yesterday, right? I don't want to hear about what was. We have to talk about what is. The Empire State Plaza is here. 787 is here. We don't want it here anymore. Thank you for being here. But we need to think about the future. What do we want for our future? And as everyone knows, we found a little time capsule that had a letter in it from 100 years ago. 100 years ago, where a business leader said, leading and influential men desired apparently to keep Albany, for the most part, a characteristically residential city. In many ways, the capital of the Empire State was decidedly backward as compared with other leading cities of this state and nation. I am proud of this city. We are a city that is powered by pride and potential. We need to go for this. This isn't about small things. The governor put it perfectly. We've got to get out of our own way. We've got to take this opportunity and move this city forward and create an incredible, wonderful, amazing city for our future generations. And this would not be happening without the leadership of Governor Hochul, without her vision, and as somebody, as she said, who saw this in Buffalo. We're not going to have that here. We are going to take this and we are going to move the city forward, and we are going to build a place that is going to create more and more and more and more opportunity. I'm so excited for what we have coming, and again, thank you so much, Governor. And now I want to invite somebody who is going to be very involved in what is happening in our downtown, the executive director of our downtown bid, Georgette Steffens.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Today is an incredible day for Albany. In my 25 years of being in the economic development industry, there has never been an investment of this scale and size in downtown Albany. And so on behalf of our 200 property owners, our 120 restaurants, retail and retail-related businesses, I want to offer my profound gratitude to Governor Hochul and the legislature for their commitment to Albany. Again, this is once in a lifetime. We've never seen it, at least in my professional career, and it wouldn't happen without your commitment to our capital city. So thank you so much. As you know, downtowns across the nation were decimated by COVID. And while our tourism industry has rebounded and our residential demand remains strong, the economic impact to our small businesses of hybrid and remote working is still palpable. But one exciting thing that I hear over and over again, right, our conversation has changed from what we were hearing during COVID over the last 2 years. I'm worried about surviving. I'm worried about keeping my doors open. I'm worried about paying my local employees. To now there's hope. This announcement has brought hope to our small business owners, to our office tenants, to our residents of our city. And so thank you for creating that hope, Governor Hochul. So some of you have heard me say this statistic before, but I think it's really important. Cushman Wakefield recently did a study that said 70% of foot traffic in cities comes not from residents and not from commuters, but from visitors. That's the new user of downtown. And so what a drastic change that is for business districts like ours that have traditionally served as a center for commerce in a region. So it's critical that we look at our infrastructure and offerings and begin to adapt to a new way people are utilizing our downtowns. It's imperative that we offer innovative arts and cultural institutions like the investment you're making at the State Museum. It's imperative that we offer high-quality, modern entertainment and recreational opportunities, as well as vibrant public spaces that both national and international companies and their employees expect of a capital city. And so this historic investment allows us to do just that. It affords us an opportunity to reimagine our capital city. We keep on saying it, but we really need to think big and think future forward. This is not what can we do tomorrow and the next day. It's about thinking about my middle school age girls and what will keep them here to go to college and what will keep them here to have a job when they're that age. And so we cannot squander this opportunity. The impact is going to be transformational, and the Downtown Albany Business Improvement District is pleased to work with you, Governor Hochul. Your leadership, your vision, your commitment to our capital capital city. I had the opportunity actually over the holidays to see you and your family at Capitol Rep enjoying the Sherlock Holmes Christmas Carol. You are part of the city. We've brought you and many of your commissioners around to meet and speak with our small businesses. I know you mean what you say, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, and so we are appreciative of your commitment, and I promise you, we are not going to squander it. The amount of phone calls and emails I get, when is the public process going to start? How do I get involved? We are going to pack the houses for every public meeting, and we're excited to be a partner with you on this journey. Thank you so much. Oh. So, talking about making an investment at just the right time, many of you are probably familiar with Fort Orange General Store. They are an incredibly creative retail store in downtown Albany that actually is building brand loyalty for Albany, right? They support local and regional makers. It's New York State products, it's Albany products. And co-owner Joe Slicko recently, he and his partner purchased Fort Orange because they saw Albany's potential. And so I'm really excited. We were talking about how excited we are about this investment and how involved they want to be. So I'm excited to ask him to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you just heard, my name is Joe Slicko, and alongside my partner, Erica Cabello, we are the proud owners of the Fort Orange General Store right here in the heart of downtown Albany. And we're here today to acknowledge and sincerely thank Governor Hochul for her unprecedented investment in our capital, our community, and our home. So thank you, Governor. With the continued leadership of Mayor Sheehan, the dedication of County Executive McCoy, and the unwavering support of organizations like the Albany Bid, we're witnessing real and meaningful transformation in our beloved city, and it's happening right before our eyes. As lifelong residents of the Capital Region, Erica and I were thrilled to take ownership of the Fort Orange General Store this past November. And one of our primary goals has been to champion and support our local community. We do this by sourcing from local vendors who create products inspired by the landmarks we cherish and the rich history that defines Albany. Engaging with our neighborhood and uplifting the local community is at the core of everything we do. From launching our Capital Collection, which highlights the iconic places we grew up loving, to hosting hands-on workshops with local artists, to collaborating with fellow businesses to ensure the new Alive at 5 concert series location feels authentically Albany. At Fort Orange, we're deeply committed to celebrating and contributing to the vibrant culture of our city. But that's only part of the story. Erica and I are both lifelong educators. Erica serves as an art teacher in the City School District of Albany, and I'm the principal of Capital Region BOCES Career and Technical Education Center's Albany campus. Every day, we see how this investment in our city translates to broader opportunities, not just for businesses like ours, but for the next generation of professionals who will shape Albany's future. At Capital Region BOCES CTE, we prepare students for high-demand, skilled professions, fields that are in critical need of trained and dedicated workers. Through partnerships with local industries, many of the folks in this room today, we offer students meaningful, industry-aligned learning experiences. And thanks to this investment, we're seeing not just more of these opportunities, but a greater diversity in these opportunities for all of our students. Governor Hochul's commitment to downtown Albany, bolstered by the support of Mayor Sheehan and our city leadership, is creating lasting, life-changing impact. It's building a stronger, more resilient community that supports small businesses, empowers our students, and welcomes everyone who lives, works, plays, or visits our great city. As a business owner, educator, parent, and lifelong resident, I want to express my heartfelt thanks. We invite everyone to come downtown, experience the revitalization for yourselves, and be part of Albany's continued renaissance. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our program, but we ask that you please stay seated as we take some photos. We ask local and